Hi, this is Dr. Ben Morrill. Welcome to episode 77 of Reptile Genetics Weekly. Glad to have you here. We get to talk about a fun subject today. We'll talk about Wookie ball python. It's another one that we recently developed a test to be able to test for. So we're excited to be able to do that. There's some really cool combos that you can make with Wookie. And we're in the middle of the travel season. Both Kayla and I are feeling a little better than last week. I'm still a little bit congested, but almost back to normal. So it actually felt pretty good this last week. So we had 2 weekends ago was at the Charlotte show. Last week was Colubrid Fest in Indianapolis. And then not this weekend, but the next one will be at the Tinley show. So lots of shows going on. And I think Sean's going to go to another one next month in St. Louis. And then for any of you that are part of the Canova Patreon, I'll be going down to Canova's place later this month, I think in about 3 weeks, and going to be there as well. So it's really nice this time of the year to see so many people, meet lots of new people, and be able to talk with lots of friends and just be able to kind of nerd out and enjoy. And so it's crazy busy with travel, but a lot of fun. So hopefully we've been able to meet some of you and get to see some of the rest of you here in these next few weeks. As for our sample updates, we have fast tests going out every day. We have the sex determination going out twice a week. So you usually have a 3 to 5 business day turnaround for colubrid sex determination and ball python sex determination. And then the panels, the next results will likely be late next week. So about a week and a half from when you see this video. So that'll be, probably Thursday, Friday of next week. So that's where we're at with samples. And Kayla, how are you doing?
Hey Ben, I'm doing great. So you know how last week I said that I wouldn't impulse buy a snake at Colubrid Fest?
You almost made it.
I almost made it. And well, you see, uh, bless Steve at the Reptile Collective. I've been kind of thinking about getting a scaleless snake because I do educational stuff, and having a scaleless snake to be like, well, what are they like? Under like what's their actual skin feel like? Would be fun. And this one was het white side, so well, just look at him. He's precious. That face is just adorably goofy. They're like it's like the ugly cute, kind of like pugs, but with less health issues. um, to be fair, I love pug dogs too, but but yeah, no, just like he has like mascara and little jaguar spots. He's precious. And he just came in this morning. Shout out to Clint and Reptiles to you for shipping him down to us from Colubrid Fest, thus enabling my surprise purchase of a snake. But he's a good boy. And that's Steve. I must have been by their booth like 6 or 7 times. I would like walk past, preaching the good word about rare genetics. And I kept looking at those snakes and I was like, oh man, I keep showing up here. And after a while I was like, well, I keep standing here and taking up space, so I may as well get a snake. And so I did.
A good one.
Oh yes. And look at his little naked chin. That's so cute. He's gonna be great. Haven't come up with a name yet. So if y'all have any good name suggestions, I like names that allude to him being naked. But also like, it can't be buck naked because Snake Discovery already has that one. And yeah, but he's a good boy. But yeah, otherwise, well, in addition to that, I'm great. So yeah, want to knock out some business stuff real quick?
Sure.
All right. So for just our usual spiel about how you can get bulk shed testing and lower the price because of that. We really want to make sure we hook you guys up. So if you're ordering a whole bunch of morph tests, even if it's like a lower number of snakes, but you're testing like 5 different mutations, the bulk pricing can get as low as $23 per mutation test, maybe less. But if you want to quote, you can go ahead and send an email to Sean at Rare Gen Inc. and we can get you your quote. Likewise for Colubrid clutches, if you're testing a whole bunch of babies and you don't want to like sit there like trying to pop wiggly babies and like, is that a hemipene, is that a musk gland, what is happening? Easier and less stressful on everybody to do it that way. So shoot an email to Sean and we can get you a quote and hopefully get you a much better deal going on there.
Yeah. So whether it's multiple animals, one test, multiple animals, multiple tests, or even one or two animals but multiple tests, any way when you're getting multiple things, there's a way we can give you a discount for that, because that helps us when we're running multiple samples or multiple tests on a sample. That helps us be able to do it at a lower price, and we'll pass that on to you.
Exactly. And so like I mentioned, we did go to Colubrid Fest this weekend. It was the very first one ever up in Indianapolis, and we had a blast. We were sponsoring it, and so we got lots of cool pictures. Like this was from the same table I got my little boy at. This is a moonshine rat snake, and it seems like the moonshine gene actually makes the scale. It gives the scaleless snakes their scales back, but it's like a micro scale thing, which I thought was super interesting. And
cool.
Yeah, so I don't know what does that, but it's like it's a scaleless snake, but he's micro scale at the same time. And there's Clint and Zach. We had our little like, hey, that's us thing on the banner because we were sponsoring it. We met Joe and Sarah Snake Shop. Just a whole bunch of really nice folks.
The story with that last picture, they went around with a t-shirt and had every single vendor. They told me that, because I was wandering around talking all the time, they told me I was the very last one that they got, but they did every single vendor. And what they plan to do is Colubrid Fest grows and gets bigger and bigger, 10 years from now, they'll be able to have that as an auction item with all of the vendors from the very first year signed on it. So that's a pretty cool idea.
Yeah, I got to sign it too. And then when they asked for a business card, I was like, well, I have a virtual one because we didn't get our physical ones in time. So, but that's okay. We'll make it work. But I love that. I think I signed up on one of the shoulders maybe, but I think that was a great idea. Let's see. And you finally got to meet Jamie in person.
Yes. Yep. We've been talking about indigo snakes for at least a couple of years now. So that was nice to be able to talk in person finally.
Oh yeah. And I got that picture of him with there was this massive Chinese king rat snake, which I had never seen in person before, but that is a snake right there.
Yeah.
Like what a hoss. Lots of really cool species. Like this doesn't even put a dent in what was there, but met Snakeful Grace and got this awesome picture of him. And there's the tiger rat again. I don't know if you can see it very well on these pictures, but it has like, look at the keeling on those scales. They're like it has a keel like a lot of snakes do, but then it has a bump in the middle on those keels. Like it's really interesting texture. And also just great snake. And I think the title is Zach's Cool Snakes or Paul's Cool Snakes. I think it's Paul's. I'm going to make sure I find out and post a link to it. Sorry if I got that wrong. But we got lots of sheds. Like we just walk up to people's deli cups and be like, hey, can I get that shed? Because, they start shedding in the deli cups at times. So get those free samples. And I got to meet Scott Hitchcock in person. He is the founder of the lightning rat snake. And you can see a framed picture of the founding animal. His name is Thor. And sadly, Thor did pass a couple years ago. But I got to meet some of my boy, Mr. Lemon Bars. There's his sister and a whole bunch of little nieces and nephews and siblings. So that was really cool to actually meet Scott because I've known him for years. But bunch of great looking lightning rat snakes. And that was really sweet. Of course, I got to meet Clint. The panels were amazing. And we raised like $11,000 for colubrid conservation at West Liberty University. Just all around a great time. So great job. Gold star to everyone who organized it. It was fun.
It was really cool, and Zach and Clint did an amazing job. And
Mm-hmm.
so many people. It was interesting because I've gone to shows of various sizes, but it was interesting. We had people coming from so far, even though it was a smaller show because it was focused on colubrids. But
Yeah.
it was funny to like talking. One of the vendors mentioned, he's like, I'm so used to having to explain all this stuff, but at this show, everybody already knows a huge amount. There's lots of people
Yeah.
that have been keeping snakes for many, many years at that show. It was a special show. It was really cool. There was
Mm.
a lot of knowledge and a lot of excitement and happiness, enthusiasm to kind of do something a little new. I've been to the Carpet Fest. They don't have a reptile show associated with it. It's just a get together. At least when I went, I don't know if they've changed. It's been a few years since I went.
Yeah.
I know they used to have a Chondro Fest, and I think there's been a couple others that have kind of popped up. But if you have a chance, if there's a species or group that you're interested in and they're doing something like that, do your best to go. It's a really good time. And Clinton and Zach, thank you so much. It was a great show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, definitely get your fellow nerds together because that
And
was something. Oh yeah.
they do have the Colubrid and Colubrid radio, so
Mm-hmm.
give them a listen there.
Definitely. Let's see. And we did mention we were going to Tinley. I think that's our next show that Ben's going to be at. So October 12th and 13th. So be on the lookout for it.
I'll just be wandering. I won't have a table. I'll be wandering around. The last couple of shows, I've had a place for people to drop off sheds. This time I'll just be walking around unless somebody wants to take a box and have it at their table for people to drop sheds. But otherwise, I'll be wandering, and you see me, just grab me and give me sheds. I'll happily take them. I've tested it many times now. I haven't had a single TSA person try to take my sheds away. So they're good to go on airplanes.
Yes. Can confirm. I had a whole bunch in my suitcase and wasn't questioned at all. Yeah. So, awesome. Anyway, so let's talk about Wookie. And we have the Wookie gene in ball pythons, back to ball python land here. And we have a special guest that we're bringing on to talk about it with us. And that is Becky of LYON Exotics. How you doing, Becky?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. Glad to have you on today.
Thanks.
And you have a cool, interesting backstory of how you got into snakes. We'd love to have you talk a little bit about that. How did you end up deciding you wanted to keep snakes?
So I was kind of brought up with reptiles to an extent. My grandfather had snakes, and my father is actually from Kenya, so we traveled there a couple of times. And he just, would grab a reptile out of the wild and introduce me to all that fun stuff at an early age. So I was very much in the pet hobby for a long time. Mm-hmm. Multiple different reptiles, not just ball pythons. And then I learned a lot from Canova, obviously, in recent years, and it made me want to start breeding. So we started breeding, my husband and I in 21.
Oh, awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. So let's so for people who aren't familiar with the Wookie gene, we've got a couple of pictures just to kind of warm us up here. And so from Inky Clouds, they sent us this picture of a black pastel Wookie that's also possibly yellow belly, which is really cool. So I'm also less familiar with Wookie. So what in this animal says Wookie to you guys? What's happening there? What does Wookie do?
It's mainly, in my opinion, it has a really nice rich color, and the alien heads tend to be a little more circular and start releasing from like the belly section.
Yeah.
And you'll see that in some of the combos in the clutch we're going to talk about.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good way to describe it.
Usually amps up the darkness some too, for sure.
Yeah. Which we can definitely see in the clutch. We'll show you. Here's another example, also from Inky Clouds, and I think produced by Canova.
This was me. I produced.
You produced this one. Awesome.
Yeah.
GHI, Wookie, possibly also Bongo. And I really like this one. I love that little the little dark brown snoot and just like the little faded eyeliner going on there. That is too adorable.
And either today or tomorrow, I'll be running the sample on that one for bongo. I'm pretty sure it's got bongo too, but we'll know in a day or two.
Well, sweet. So here, so also to introduce Becky, you are on MorphMarket and also Instagram, which we'll have links to. And also that's just like I really like their banner. So I just I just clicked the whole thing for part of your intro. So be on the lookout for them, for her on MorphMarket. And yeah, let's talk about this clutch. So do you want to talk about the parents first?
Yeah, so the female actually we got from Canova. Actually, I do have to mention one other thing about how I got into the hobby. So, not only did Canova teach us a lot, Snake Limited too. He used to be Blind Strike Exotics.
Yeah.
And he actually introduced me to the love of my life, which is my ball python called Chiquita. And she's more like a family pet. She's not really in the breeding project right now, but he actually had a big part in that too. So I had to just mention that as well.
Oh, okay. So with the name Chiquita, is she a banana morph?
She's not a banana, but she looks just like a banana. She has all the coloring with the brown marks down it. So she literally looks like a banana.
Oh, that's
Everyone's
adorable.
Like, oh, you have a banana. I'm like, no, actually, she's not. But
false banana.
She's the one that sits and watches movies with us in the evening and whatnot. So she's very much a family pet. She's not in our facility for breeding purposes. But.
Oh yeah, she's like your. I think at least people in who keep rats as pets and mice as pets. They have like a heart rat or a heart mouse. It's like your animal. Like Chiquita's like your heart snake.
Yes,
that's adorable.
She definitely ignited my fire of passion into the ball python world, and then Canova helped along with. Snake Limited too, but Canova just helped a lot with learning the genetics and whatnot. So
fantastic. So tell us about this clutch.
So I got the female from Justin at Canova, Justin and Summer. She was a proven breeder when we got her, and she was actually originally from Bioexotics. She is a black pastel Wookie. Possible yellow belly, although we didn't get any ivories in the clutch, so we're thinking she's probably not yellow belly at this point. Het clown. And then Dad came from Always Evolving Pythons, another good friend in the industry. He is a Cypress red stripe spot nose yellow belly het clown.
He's really pretty. I love that big old stripe right down his back.
Yeah, he's gorgeous, and he loves the ladies. So. We couldn't ask for, and he eats great, and I mean, we couldn't ask for a better snake. So, thanks, Miguel.
Boy,
Miguel and Justin, definitely good people to work with. That's for sure.
All right. So first baby in this batch, which they are amazingly dark compared to the parents. Like that was the thing that struck me about this whole clutch.
So that's actually what got me onto the Wookie gene is the Kraken project that Canova works on.
Yes.
And talking about those alien heads kind of moving up and separating from the belly, that's where the Kraken nickname comes from.
Yeah.
So that's initially when Mom became available, I was like, absolutely, I want to go down that route. And I thought it would be really neat to add Cypress in the mix. So that's where these babies came from. Justin and Summer did take a look at the clutch for me, and they have a potential ID, theoretical ID. So the first one we think is a Cypress Wookie black pastel clown, possible yellow belly.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's a lot going on. And I love how the head, it has a nice busy pattern, a fairly busy pattern going down the body, and then just a plain head that's a little bit lighter. I think that's really classy looking on this one. For the second, is this the same one or?
It's the same one,
animal.
just a different view. Yep.
Awesome. Yeah, no, and the contrast from the belly is really, really pretty. Does it have any belly patterns or is it just kind of plain? Just plain. Oh, pretty. Yep. Very classy. And this one's cool.
Yeah, so this one I really wasn't sure 100% if it had Wookie in it. Justin thinks it's spot nose, Wookie, yellow belly, possible black pastel clown.
Ooh.
So he thinks there's definitely Wookie in there though. So I say all this to say we're definitely going to be shed testing every baby in this clutch, not only because it was a head-to-head pairing, so some of the hets are, well, they're 66% het, so we'll have to test them for clown, but pretty much everything in this, yeah, I think most genes in this we can test for now. So
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Another picture of that same one.
mm-hmm.
Really
And
cool looking.
Another thing to keep in mind for people that are following this pairing now and haven't thought a lot about the spider complex, but with there being spot nose and Wookie in the sire, right?
Yep.
So every baby's can either be Wookie or spot nose, right?
Yep.
I like how this one has a little question mark on his side,
yeah,
over on the right side. So cute.
I've always looked at ball pythons that you could either see a smiley face or a word, or I mean,
how do you
do that?
It's awesome. And so, what is this? What is this cutie?
So this one we think is a Cypress red stripe, black pastel, Wookie yellow belly. We think so. It might be all of the above, and then fingers crossed that it potentially will be het clown too. So, and not to mention the two heavy hitters of the clutch are male, and everything else, the other 4 hatchlings are female. So
Wow.
they're going to be powerhouses. So
yeah,
super happy with this clutch.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's nice when the heavy hitters are the males, especially if it's with genes with combinations that you don't have a male of yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can definitely believe Wookie. Like, there's just like the faintest little like alien heads. It's almost like they're bubbling up on the side, like over on the right side.
It's a shame sometimes because in when you take photographs, it doesn't quite capture the beauty of some of them sometimes, and you can definitely. It almost looks like you had that pattern and you're doing the transparency thing, and it's just fading down a little bit, but you can see it through there. It's really neat.
Oh, so pretty. I bet, especially on the dark ones, I bet the iridescence on that animal is fantastic. Awesome. Well, gorgeous clutch.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I bet you were smiling ear to ear when you saw them.
Oh my goodness, yeah. The first one, he was the first to pip, and I saw him, and I was like, "You've got to be kidding!"
Yeah.
I just love that Kraken look, and he was like a Kraken-ish, and then some. So I just, yeah, it was awesome.
Definitely. Oh, yeah. So you have another snake that you wanted to show us that isn't in the picture, the reel of pictures that we have here. So what's going on there?
So this is Blanche.
Hi, Blanche.
You can see her head right here. It's a little difficult to show you. I should have probably sent a picture, but she's a paradox. She's really, really neat.
Ooh.
And she is potential Wookie in the pairing. So we're definitely going to be shed testing her. She is Phantom Lesser, possible Pin Pastel and Wookie. Obviously, we're really hoping for the Wookie to prove out in her. She's been a little bit of a slow grower, so we're hoping to breed her in the next couple of years. But yeah, shed testing her is going to be awesome. She's just such a neat looking animal. So
she is. She's really, really pretty.
And when we were talking earlier before we started recording, I let Becky know if you happen to have an animal like that that's paradox, and we did show a few videos back that it does matter what part of the shed you send us. So
yes,
on an animal like that one that's large enough, if it's the patch that's got some color and pattern to it that you want tested, do your best to give us just a piece. You know, if it's this big of a patch, get a piece, like that big from the middle of it. Part you want us to test and send that, and then that's most likely we'll give you results for that part. But it definitely does matter which part of the animal when it's a paradox like that. And other thing that we can't say for sure is how it will breed, because really it only matters the cells that make either the eggs or the sperm. So in this case, the eggs. If they have Wookie in them, then you could potentially produce Wookiees. But even if the whole animal mostly looked like it had Wookie, but it's a little bit paradox, if those cells that produce the eggs don't have Wookie, then unfortunately we'll never breed like a Wookie. So the shed testing is nice to know what you have a chance for, but unfortunately with paradoxes, you still kind of have. Then with males, you send us sperm plugs, and that should give us an even clearer picture of what it would produce, but it's still not perfect because there can be a few other cells, that would potentially contaminate that and maybe make us not or whatever. So anyway, they're pretty animals. Very
That's
cool.
really neat to know that. I thought I could send any part of the shed and it would just let me know. So it's neat to know, and it's neat to know whether that there's a possibility that even if she tests for something, it may not come out in the breeding. So.
Yep. That's when you'll finally know, is when you breed. Unfortunately, paradoxes throw that wrench in there.
Yeah,
but it's worth it. They're cool animals.
Yeah. Sure. So we do have a new sponsor that we're bringing on board that we're really excited to talk about, and that is 403 Fauna. He has a great logo of a pig-nosed turtle who is, I believe that, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think his name is Porkins, which is adorable for a pig-nosed turtle. Like, just look at that man. He is wonderful. And and so I believe that his 403 Fauna comes from the fact that his science lab is 403. And he's a science teacher in what state?
San Diego.
San Diego, that's right.
Yeah, we're right near San Diego. Yeah.
Awesome. But yeah, he's on MorphMarket. He has 2 animals listed so far. And then a few animals from his collection that are very, very pretty. And he actually sent us a video of a really cool, I guess, situation that popped up with when he used shed testing with us. So we're going to play that real quick.
What's up, everybody? It's Mark from 403 Fauna, and I wanted to tell you real quick the story about how I produced this fire VPI xanthic puzzle. So I've had a pastel double het VPI xanthic puzzle that I've been breeding with a leopard double het, and close to the end of the breeding season, I got results back from RGI of a male firefly VPI xanthic that was previously 50% possible het puzzle, and RGI proved out to be 100% het puzzle. So I threw him in, and that increased my odds for hatching a VPI xanthic puzzle. And out of 8 eggs, I got this fire VPI xanthic puzzle. Incidentally, I hatched out 7 more VPI xanthics, 66% possible het puzzle, that RGI will now help me prove out to be het puzzle. So big thank you, RGI, and enjoy this beautiful female fire VPI xanthic puzzle.
Awesome.
Hit. That's such a cool animal.
Yes, it is. So pretty. Oh, and look at Blanche. Hi, Blanche.
She's getting a little restless, so I figured let's put her around the neck, keep her occupied.
Of
Hopefully
course.
she doesn't kill me.
Oh, that's okay.
she's been very patient. She's done
Yes,
great.
she has.
She's been wonderful. Oh, what a sweetie. Well,
And
awesome. Oh,
Becky,
sorry, go ahead, Becky.
Becky mentioned to us this is the first time you've been on a show. We appreciate
It
you.
is.
You did
Yeah,
great.
absolutely.
We appreciate having you here.
Of course.
And we also talked a little bit about where all you're at. You're for sure on MorphMarket and IG. Is that the best place for people to get in touch with you?
Yeah, and then we'll also be vending at Tinley this year. So if people want to stop by, and I've already had multiple requests to bring the babies, so they'll be there so
Awesome.
people can gawk at them.
Of
Yeah.
course.
See them in person. And you said when you go in the main doors at Tinley, you go to the left. You're towards the far left, like the second row
Yeah.
in.
Yep.
Cool.
Cool. Do all of your snakes have names? I know Blanche has a name, but do all of them get names?
Yeah. So I use Clutch, through Canova.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you can see, but every single one of them is named. So
Oh, I love it.
mom and dad to the Wookie Clutch are Raylan is dad and Boudica is mom. And that was picked by my husband because he helps me name them. I know that sounds so goofy, but we're just I just love it for the sake of the animals. And
Of course.
she's getting a little tight now. So yeah.
Awesome.
She,
Is Raylan from Justified?
Yes, we just finished watching that show.
Oh, yeah.
And then we were like, "Oh, that's the perfect name." So yes, that's where that name came from. But
Oh, that's funny.
he's a dream snake. Eats
Oh.
and well, breeds well, beautiful. Yeah.
Attaboy, Raylan.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, good. Well, thanks so much for joining us today.
Of course. Thank you guys.
Yeah. And of course, thanks everybody for watching. Definitely let us know if you're going to be at Tinley or if you were at Colubrid Fest, or honestly any of the shows. Let us know when you're going to be there. And of course, liking, subscribing, leaving a comment on the video tells the YouTube algorithm that we're cute and that more people should see us. So, all right. Do you have anything else before we call it a wrap?
Not for me.
Yeah. All right. Everybody, go check out Becky on MorphMarket.
Thanks so much, guys.
Yeah, and see you guys next week. Outro in 3, 2, 1.